Welcome to this brief video on section 3.2, working with exponents. In class, you were asked to complete the investigation on page 111, read from 111 to 113, complete the communicate your understanding on pages 113 to 114, and complete questions numbers 1 to 8 on pages 114 to 115. In this video, I'm just going to go over some of the basics necessary for completing this work and moving forward in this unit. As noted in the text, power is a product of identical factors and consists of two parts, a base and an exponent. Factors simply means numbers that are multiplied together to get another number. Thus, identical factors means the same number multiplied by itself. The base is the identical factor, and you can see it identified for you there on the screen. In this case, it is 6. The exponent tells how many factors there are. In the example on the screen, 2 is the exponent, which means that 6 will be multiplied 2 times. 6 times 6, which equals 36. When we write a power as 6 to the power of 2, as we have here, it is called exponential form. When a power is written as 6 times 6, like we have here, it is called expanded form. Just to illustrate with a couple more examples, if I were to have, for example, 2 to the power of 2, and that is the exponential form, I could write it in the expanded form of 2 times 2. Or if I had 5 to the power of 8, I could write that in expanded form as 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, and one more times 5. So you can see that writing in exponential form is a useful way to express repeated multiplication, as it is a lot easier to write 5 to the power of 8 than writing it in expanded form as 5 times 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 5. One other thing you will need to know to complete your assigned work and the rest of the unit involves powers with a negative base. If the base is negative, the negative symbol will be placed within brackets, as you see on the screen here. Negative 6 to the power of 2 means negative 6 times negative 6. In this case, the product is 36 because a negative times a negative gives us a positive. So we would get here 36. But what if we were given the power negative 6 to the power of 3? Negative 6 to the power of 3 means negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6. If we break this down, we see that negative 6 times negative 6 equals 36. So if I got negative 6 times negative 6 equals 36. But if I then want to take that 36 and multiply it by another negative 6, rather than getting a positive, I will get negative 216. Because a negative, like this negative 6, times this positive 36 will give us a negative number. If you quickly use your calculator and experiment, you should notice that if a power with a negative base has an even number exponent, the product will be positive. And if a product with a negative base has an odd number exponent, the product will be negative. You can see these 2 points illustrated in the bottom left hand of your screen here, where you have powers that have a negative 6 base, and exponents which range from 2 to 7. Where the power is an even number, like 2, 4, and 6, you can see that the answers are positive 36, positive 1,296, positive 46,656. Where the exponent is an odd number, like 3, 5, and 7, you can see that the answers are negatives, negative 216, negative 7,776, and negative 279,993. To review, a power is a product of identical factors. A power has a base and an exponent. The base is the identical factor. The exponent tells how many factors there are. A power can be written in exponential form, for example 6 to the power of 4. A power can be written in expanded form, for example 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. And the last 2 points, if a power with a negative base has an even number exponent, the product will be positive. And if a power with a negative base has an odd number exponent, the product will be negative.